So, going to say a quick hello to my goblins. Hello, peeps. How's it going? We're playing Strange Aeons, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure with a full complement of people, minus one. So, going to say a quick hello to my goblins. Hello, peeps. How's it going? That is really annoying. That is me in the background right there. That was not great. Okay. But yeah, we have an Ostrich Balaam by Mr. Ben, a Litrix Valyria from Dennis, a Nererola from Jeff, myself as the Game Master, I do what I do, and then Seveston Death Dealer from Mr. Joel. We are all good to go, and we should have another person joining us probably next week because haven't gotten his build done yet. But all of our characters have gotten an awesome power boost. Some of us are just ridiculously strong, and some of us have way too many skill feats. Just some of us. We left off with you guys facing off against the Onirigen last time and learning that in his world and the Onirigen's world, it's not always about physical prowess. Sometimes it's just about imagination. It was really well done. I enjoyed it. Someone nearly became a god. It's cool. Temporarily, at least. And you guys had a nice long rest after doing some healing in the kind of underneath area, chilling. What do you guys want to do now?
I guess we should continue along and let that guy know that we dealt with Onirigen and continue on along our goal. Yeah.
Before we do that, I would like to do some healing on the party if anyone is particularly injured.
Yeah. And we would have regained how many hit points after the rest?
You would have regained your level times con.
Level times con, level plus con.
Level times con.
Oh.
Minimum your con will count as 1.
Yeah, okay, that's...
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm still down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good though, but...
Yeah, I'm down a couple of points as well, but if anyone else needs it more urgently...
You guys can take a little bit of extra time. Just be aware that you have taken quite a few long rests, and you have been in the asylum for just about 8 days now.
I mean, it'll only take, 10 minutes for me to do my thing?
Yeah, 10 minutes, and then they're bolstered against you for an hour. But yeah, 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I can also add some healing to it, too, if needed.
Okay, and I'm going to use my new feat, Risky Surgery, just because.
Do it up. A new feat's always good.
So should I just roll the D8 once for everyone? Because I can treat I can treat 2 people at once.
There's something else you guys do notice. I'm going to interrupt you just for a moment, Ostrich, is that Ilki looks to be completely healthy this morning. He's still tired, but he's lost all of that drain of energy. He looks to be in relatively good health at the moment. But yeah, so he had a beautiful +4 from your treat disease that really, it actually gave him a critical success against his illness. So Ostrich,
he had a good doctor.
He had a really good doctor. Go ahead and roll that D8 and choose the 2 people you want to work on.
Okay, myself will be 1.
Okay.
And then I'll let someone else volunteer.
I can be it.
The guinea pig.
Okay,
the term is guinea cat.
Oh, sorry.
Going to be experimenting with some new surgical procedures that I just remembered that I knew. My amnesia lifted just enough for me to remember this daring battlefields technique. And I'm going to be going for just for the lulls of it, the DC 20 version. So
all right.
Plus 10 to whatever I roll. Well, and then if I succeed, it'll be a critical success because of my thing.
All right, so go for that sweet 50-50. I will also say that because you did include your backstory in that, which is the amnesiac stuff, I am going to give you a hero point for it.
Awesome.
I'll turn on my halo there so you can see what he's doing.
Just like, boop, halo. That's new. So as they're sitting there, Litrix's head just kind of lights up for a moment. You can see a faint shimmering glow of light, kind of a circular glow of light appear above their head.
Okay. Come on. I got a better than 50-50 chance because I'm also getting a +2 onto this, so this will be...
plus 12.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be rolling from my sheet, which will only have the +10, so it'll be +2 to whatever this rolls. I'm going to use a hero point.
Sounds good.
What the mother...
Way too left.
So you try the risky medicine, and you try the risky surgery, and you remember like halfway through, wait, didn't I have to do the incision on the other side? And you're left with a bleeding Seveston and yourself, like with a quick little stab wound, hurting a little more than you should be, realizing, maybe that wasn't the right way to go. So you're now bolstered for 1 day against your own stuff.
And we took 5 damage from his...
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be because of my forensic acumen the less...
The forensic acumen works on a success, you're bolstered for 1 hour. On a failure, you're still bolstered for a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was double checking it earlier, and it says on a success, and in addition to succeeding and getting the extra stuff, it's like in addition to the success, you gain, you only gain bolstered for an hour instead of a day. You list it specifically after the success part, so it's unfortunate. I mean, it works for you very well, but okay. So you guys get up. He performs this daring, heroic surgery that ends up just hurting you more. Maybe he didn't quite remember it right. But as you guys kind of gather, I know Litrix wanted to head out, so they begin packing up their gear and getting everything ready to head off to the east, back towards Dr. Wren, who had promised you a special piece of gear should you actually help him out.
So just another question before we go off. And would there be any like symbols or whatever that this guy was wearing that would allow me to use my other new feat, the Schooled in Secrets, to gain some information on this cult?
Let me see. I'm gonna have to do a little research for a moment. Go ahead, and I'll get you actually to roll a recall knowledge check on him using the occult. Where the crap did my page numbers go? There's not here. Oh, sorry, I just got attacked by a cat. Get off! Get off!
Now, would I be able to deal 5 damage to myself in order to add +2 and get a critical success on that?
I wish it was that easy. Okay.
Litrix, you had offered potential healing if that didn't work out. Is that still available?
You say as you clutch your leaking entrails.
I've got a bit of a hernia right now.
Okay.
What do I got here?
So, Can you just tell me quickly what you rolled? Because I'm looking through and trying to find the actual thing that I have to check. And
I rolled a 22 on occultism.
Beautiful. That is actually a critical success.
Huzzah.
I just have to find... Yes! Sorry, 1 second, please. Okay. I just had to yell at the cat for a moment. She's being... And now she's breaking my stuff because I yelled at her.
Cats are assholes like that.
Yep. I'm beginning to really not enjoy this. Okay. Sorry, I have to stop that cat before she actually ruins something valuable. This is not great for streaming stuffs, no. Stop touching my important things. Shove you back in the bedroom if you do that. Okay, so, Ben, you do recognize what they're wearing to be religious garb. Like, the stripes of yellow are very important to them because it brings them closer to resembling the Tatterman. Now, you're not sure why the Tatterman in specific is important, but you do know that he's related to a book called The Chain of Knights. And the Chain of Knights allows people to interact with and change the dreaming world. So that's what we've gleaned from it. You haven't heard, you don't know what they actually call themselves as of yet, but you do know they are related to the Chain of Knights, a very important religious text that allows people to interact with the dreaming world. And the Tatterman also has something to do with dreams. He is a manifestation of a nightmare. He actually used to be a god of nightmares before he was lessened, but we all rise and fall.
So he's an angry god.
Would it be possible for you to DM me with all that write up after the game so that I don't have to waste everyone's time jotting down notes and asking questions and clarification?
Okay, I am going to actually DM you the title of The Chain of Knights, which is a book that goes over that kind of thing, and then if you want to, we can just do a quick call after game, and I can actually talk about you with it, see if you have questions. I can answer you one-on-one.
I mean, I think I got the general gist of it from your description. I just want to make sure, because I'm kind of unofficially in charge of keeping track of all of this, want to make sure that I don't forget any important details.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is there anything else you guys would like to do before you head out to the east?
I was asking if Litrix would heal me.
I
That's
will
fair.
use my lay on hands on him for 6 hit points, and I will aim for the low roll. Nope, I'll let it take 10 minutes at some point.
Okay. So you do heal for, how much is it?
It's 6 hit points.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a little
puts
bit better
me-
off than you were.
Yeah. That's more respectable. I'm back to pretty much where I was before my surgery.
Your wonderful surgery of amazingness.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also relay the information that I learned to the group.
Actually, it'd be 12. Your focus spells are automatically heightened, and you are at a level which you would gain an additional spell, good sir. So your lay on hands now heals for 12.
Who's mine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yay, that brings me up to full health.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't know how the focus and the high spells worked. So.
Your focus spells are automatically heightened to their highest level. Since you are a level 3 caster, they count as second level spells.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make sure, because I knew they grew, but I wanted to double check that. So yeah. Same thing with Neru's heal spells. Yours automatically heighten to the highest level, being focus spells. Anyone's focus spells automatically heighten to the highest level they can cast them at. Focus spells are awesome. Okay.
Does that mean I can focus on dagger attacks and they will be heightened?
I mean, if you count them as a spell, absolutely. They'll be super pokey. They'll be the pokiest.
Okay.
Just start casting dagger.
I cast kidney stab.
Oh, God, that's just uncomfortable.
Why would you do such a thing? You must really hate that
Just
person.
taking a break from the serious atmosphere, just like randomly out of nowhere, you point at somebody and all of a sudden their kidney gets stabbed as a spell. Like, that is just vicious.
It sounds like that happened recently, minus the spell bit.
It's true. Okay. So back into seriousness, you guys head eastward, traveling through the kitchen, taking care to avoid the kind of whatever that creature is in there that attempted to spoil all of your food. Carefully navigating the area, getting back to this area over here. I'm not going to roll for encounters or anything like that. You guys are fine that way. Eventually, you do come to see there are a bunch of those yellow-wearing apostles that are wandering around the place. And recognizing you this time, they still band together and glare at you, but they no longer threaten you with weapons. As you get close, Ren approaches you, grinning, says, "My friends, it's so glad to see you've come back to us. Come, follow me." And he motions you over back towards the rooms where he can talk to you in secret. So back over here. So, did you do it?
It is done.
Well,
Not
I
without
thought
much discomfort, but it is done.
I thought the clouds would be gone, but they did lessen a little bit. And as you look around, you do notice that the fog itself has kind of abated a little bit, but not. You'd say by about a quarter. It's less dense, it's less prevalent, and you can see there are certain shapes and shadows that were moving in the fog before that you noticed aren't moving there now. Well, I suppose I owe you this. And he kind of goes over to his little area. He pulls out a thin-looking case, something that would hold, like maybe a long quill or like a piccolo kind of flute, and he hands it over to you. This was a hand-me-down, we'll call it.
I'll take it if no one else is gonna reach for it first.
Okay. So you take the thin, like the box. Yeah. So what are you folks doing now?
Before we move on, I would like to ask Ren here if he knows anything about the Chain of Knights.
What is that? Some sort of festival? It's not what I'm familiar with.
Is he being upfront and honest about this?
Go ahead and roll a perception check, please. As far as you can tell, he's genuinely confused. He has no idea what you're talking about.
Never mind then, just being thorough.
Well, that being the case,
Our plan is to... Oh.
I think this means that this is... Well, this might actually be... There might be more of those Onirigen, as Zandalis called them. Do you think you could take care of the rest?
I don't know if we have much of a choice.
He might be
Seems
able
to be either that or slowly lose our minds.
Yeah. Well, have any of you been suffering the nightmares yet? No, none of you?
At least once.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I mean, we don't know exactly what they are, but everyone's been suffering from the bad dreams, you know. Bleak skies, empty city. But once people start having them every night, they quickly just go crazy. And I mean, that's not something I would say before I started working here. Of course not. I wouldn't just judge somebody like that, but I don't know.
They're not very good nightmares.
I mean,
Yeah, I'd imagine that experiencing death on a nightly basis would not be great for one's mental health.
experience death? No, we just get stuck in the city. I mean, some people see a creature, a kind of gaunt thing in yellow rags that hunts them down, but no one's really died yet.
Oh.
Some people say that if he kills you in your dreams, he reveals what you really are. It might be a corpse, sometimes it's something worse, but people change when they get killed by him over time. Not many people have died to him. I mean, a few of them, but I think those are the ones that became the ghouls. Or the doppelgangers. One of the two. Yeah.
Would any of us have any memory of our first time in the dreamscape?
Oh yeah, and most of you do remember dying, yeah.
I'm just gonna glance at my party members.
Oh, and yeah, by the way, I'm going to warn you because you seem like nice folk, and I know the way that you're headed. You might encounter an old lady. She's got to be, oh geez, about 70 years old now. Do not trust her. And he kind of motions over to, there's a bunch of people with, bags on their heads kind of hanging off the walls. All of those are from her. She killed 9 men over in Rosenport about 40 years ago. And, yeah, she used to be called the Bag Lady, since she's always wrapped her victims' faces, and she's passed between hospitals and prisons, and she's here now, and we don't know where. Not really. She's part of the Apostles, but she kind of moves in and out of the fog like it doesn't even exist. Careful of her. Don't trust her. Especially if you're headed the way you're heading.
Bag Lady have any trigger any anything? Would I recognize that?
Possibly. I'm gonna give your character sheet a quick check over. You know what? I would say make a society check, because it's entirely possible.
Where were these rolls when I was trying to heal people?
So you're not familiar, the names Rosenport and the Bagley, they come back to you as old case studies you did years ago for some sort of educational purposes, maybe? And you remembered, yeah, she killed a lot of people, and she was really good at it. But other than that, you can't recall too much about her. She was a baker, you think? Maybe? Certain things fog into your memory. You remember... Well, I mean, now at least you remember going to some sort of school. You think? But that's about it. Look, I don't have anything else to offer you folks. I literally... That was kind of a... Hail Mary anyway. It's not the best, but... Look, if you can get us out of here... My family's not exactly poor. I mean, they put me through school. There's a reward in it for you, I promise.
Well, we're definitely going to do our best to try and survive. And if we can do any more than that, we will.
Okay. Well, is there do you guys have plans? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't doubt that you folk are strong enough to take out some of Xandalus's guards, but there's literally an army of them, and even if you beat them all, Xandalus himself is still locked away in that maze of fog upstairs. So it seems to me the only way to get out of here is to get rid of the mist. So I think getting rid of the Onirigens might be our best bet. You might make it to the front door, but as far as we could tell, the front door beyond it's still shrouded in that fog and the creatures that move in the mist. Well, if I didn't already have doubts about my sanity... I saw one thing. It looked like just a massive tentacles, only instead of little suckers or anything like that, it had hands. Thousands of hands roiling over the weird tentacle appendages. I don't even know what it could possibly mean, but I think those Onirigens are the way out.
Would make sense.
And do you know where more of the Neogens are?
No, I mean, I know that most of them stay upstairs with Xandalus, or at least I think so. But that one over in the Western Tower, I don't think that could be the only one. Not if it's, well, I'm pretty sure this fog is not just coming from that one tower. It has to be. There has to be more of them. Look, I want to go home. I think I'm done being a doctor. I can't do it anymore.
Well, we're working on that.
Well, I guess the sooner we get out of here and track down the remaining Onirigens, then the sooner we can make that happen.
Yeah.
True. Still, we do have an objective we have to finish as well.
What objective? Can I help? What can I do to help?
What do you guys think?
I think this guy's as trustworthy as anyone we're going to meet in here.
I suppose so. We're trying to find a group of doppelgangers.
Most of them got shut away to the southwest. Look, it's not as if we know exactly what's going on, but the ghouls and the doppelgangers, they didn't get along. And in fact, that's the only reason we were able to survive the ghouls, is because they were so distracted fighting the doppelgangers, we were able to set up barricades.
So if we go south here through those double doors down there, will we find any?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Southwest is like down here in the corner where the guards were.
Right.
But yeah, unfortunately, we abandoned that entire wing. We couldn't save anyone from there. We just know that's the doppelganger's territory because, well, some of us have overheard the ghouls talking, as it were. People still have dreams about them. Yeah.
I'm going to ask him about the guards that we dealt with. I'll describe them and...
Wait, sorry, it sounds like you're talking about some of the orderlies that I used to work with. There weren't really guards here, but orderlies, yeah, tons. Tons of people that actually helped us keep the more dangerous patients in check, as it were. I mean, there's really only 2 or 3 of them that were really that dangerous. But, yeah, no trained guards. Just orderlies. Like, they might be as good as a militia, but that's not saying a whole lot.
Better equipped, I'm guessing, though, than just these fellas here.
Well, the asylum did have its fair share of weapons, yeah. Just in case, right? I mean, no one's forgotten the Goblin Blood Wars just yet.
If we go through those doors down there, will that bring us back to the other side, the southwest wing?
Yes, it'll bring you through down to the main entrance, and then just to the left of the main entrance, you'll actually find the chapel, which, like, even the main entrance we haven't been to. We haven't gone any further than the south wing. It kind of describes the area. They haven't gone any further than here. We don't even really go down there anymore. It was too dangerous. Too many creatures in the fog and the mist trying to prey on us. I mean, I'm sure Xandalus goes. I'm sure the actual apostles go, but I don't go. Speaking of which, if you want to avoid confrontation with a few of the people, you might want to find something yellow to wear.
Sounds good.
Just be respectful of the bodies.
Of course.
So no stealing clothes off the bodies. Got it.
Appreciated.
Does anybody sell yellow cloth around here?
I don't know, but does my yellow, like, fin mane count as being yellow?
Well, I mean, you prefer to have something sackclothy. That's what the rest of these are wearing. We got it out of the kitchen before that weird thing. I think he was the old chef who's kind of not doing so great in the area. I wouldn't go there if I were you. Not too lightly, anyway. Yeah, most of it's like potato sackcloth. I'm sure if you talk to some of the apostles that are actually prepping food, they'd have a few things for you. And if you happen to have any spices, I'm sure we'd really appreciate it. We're down to essentially potatoes, bacon, and a little bit of butter. Spice would go a long way.
Maybe we should go talk to the provisioners before we head south then.
Sounds good to me.
Because I know that I lost all my rations. If we're actually keeping track of that.
Oh, you... Okay, yeah, no, that's not good, my friend.
I've been keeping track. Fortunately for me, I don't have to eat as much as everybody else.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure that
they've been here for 8 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm starting to get low.
I would very much recommend you can at least talk to them about getting some food. I'm not sure they'll have much for you, though. I mean, I don't think it would take too much for you to actually get something going. And I mean, if you look closely, I'm sure you can find some food in some of the storage areas. I mean, I'd say in the southwest area, that's where the pantry was, right? That's where they bring in the food and then store it in the pantry, and then people would take it from the pantry to the kitchen. Just, it's how it worked here. You know?
Out of character, didn't we already go to the pantry and there wasn't anything?
Yeah.
There were noises. Like, if we're talking here, there were noises, and we decided not to bother with it because we kind of assumed that it was going to be members of this kind of organization here, and we didn't want to risk killing them and, making them mad at us at this early stage of our negotiations.
I think the pantry, isn't that in like the very lower courtyard where we started?
Yeah, there was a pantry over here, but you guys decided not to go into it because it was filled with, you believe it was filled with insects, just like the other one that swarm.
Right.
Yeah.
Also out of character, didn't you say he was gonna give us another potion or something?
He already gave you what he was going to give you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which we should probably go and investigate, figure out what it is.
So first up, go to the kitchen. Second step, investigate our prize. Third step, see about scrounging up some rations in yellow sackcloth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sounds good. Let's go do it.
Okay. So you guys head towards the kind of the new kitchens, as it were. And you listen at the door. You hear again the same things you heard last time. The kind of movement, the words, the smells and sound of something cooking. And you guys just wanted to go in, right? You're okay just walking in?
Yeah. Okay. Raise my shield and go in with the dagger out.
Okay, so as you kind of walk in, you can see that sizable cracks split the surface of the south wall, allowing the smoke to exit. And the smoke's coming from several small cooking fires. Several doors also exit the room, but two at the south end of the room have been blocked by a waist-high heap of debris. You can see that there are 4 of those apostles that are guarding it. 2 look up immediately and kind of raise weapons threateningly, seeing that you've raised a shield. And they just look at you, though. They're not making any movement forward. You can also see that there are 2 cooks kind of just doing what they can to make food. They look up. One of them looks up at you and gives a little smile and nods and goes back to cooking.
Oh, then I'll lower my shield and appear non-aggressive.
Okay. We're here for food. I'm sorry, but there's not much to go around.
Yes, we heard that. Ren said perhaps you could help us out a little bit.
Ren did?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
We've actually volunteered to go down to the south wing and see if we can't scrounge up some more supplies for this group.
Okay, she kind of approaches you carefully and keeps the smile on her face, looking very much plastic. So, you're not really one of them, are you? Please tell me I'm not crazy.
Insights, or this game's equivalent?
Perception checks, yeah, for sense motive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use a hero point on that. Down to 0, but I do not want.
I was hoping I could roll mine too.
Jesus.
Perception.
Okay.
I want to check.
So just so we're clear, you guys can ask if you can roll it, but until I say yes, don't start rolling.
Sorry.
Please, that's okay. I'll allow that one to go through, no problem. But in the future, just allow me to say yes or no to the perception checks, because I don't want everyone rolling for every single check. It's just really metagamey. But yeah, so Ostrich, you can't really tell if she's telling the truth or not. But Nero, you realize that her plastic smile, the way she's moving, she is terrified. There's a small tremor in her hands. She looks around kind of like a caged beast. And she kind of gives you the weird.
Was there anybody else in the room with her, or was it just her?
Yeah, there were 2 people who look like guards and 1 other cook. All of them wearing the sackcloth yellow.
And she's like whispering to us?
Yep.
Oh. Well, I'll just whisper back and be like, no, we're not.
Oh, good. Well, and she looks over. These folk were just wanting to be fed a little bit. It's not too bad. We still have a little bit of potato and all that good stuff left. Did you bring anything for trade by any chance? Any spices?
What do you require?
Well, right now I really only have salt, some dill, a little bit of fat, lard, and some bacon grease, some potatoes. So I'd really appreciate anything that could spice it up. Anything at all. I would trade you a lot for that. Or any meat? Do you have meat? I could do with some meat. Even just a little bit, even if it's dried. I could stretch that out for a few days.
At the mention of meat, I'll take out the doppelganger hand that I still have in a jar.
Ew.
Is that oh, that's not even human. I don't think I could make that anything edible. I'm not gonna lie.
In our trail rations, could there be any meat?
Oh yeah, your trail rations all
our
consist of
rations.
like dried meat and jerky. Yeah.
I'd be willing to trade a few of my trail rations if I could get replacements of some sort.
Okay, so she takes one from me and she goes, "Oh, this should actually do really well." And she starts separating it like the dried meat and stuff. She takes some of the dried everything else, puts it to the side. Okay, look, that's almost invaluable. Like a little bit of flavor goes a long way. I can turn that into a really good soup stock. So, if you're willing to wait an hour or so, I can probably get you a few servings of soup. Is that okay?
Also, before they head off, I'm just going to try and discreetly take out my broken crossbow and say, like, if you can fix this up, might make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
She takes a look at it, nods, and kind of hides it in a cloth bag she's carrying. Was there anything else you needed? You're not wearing the right robes. Do you need robes? We can do that for you. We've run out a few more.
That is one of the reasons we came here.
Excellent. Well, if you just sit there for an hour, I'm sure we don't mind measuring you out, getting you a few like armbands or something. That wouldn't be too hard. No, not at all. She takes the meat that you've given her and goes over and starts piling things in a pot with some potatoes and some dill, a little bit of bacon grease, and sets it to the side. So she comes back and she takes a few measurements, and she gives you guys like a couple options. Do you want armbands, bandanas? Do you want like little scarves? Like, what would you guys like?
Armband.
Bandana.
Okay, one armband, one bandana. Yes.
Take like a waist sashy wrap type thing.
I can definitely do that. Yeah.
I'll go for the same, please.
Okay, and she kind of walks over. She keeps an eye on the soup as it's boiling, creating that broth kind of thing, and she works on her stuff. After a little bit, the soup's kind of done. She hands you your sackcloth gear, which kind of identifies you as an apostle, but in a non-blasphemous way for some of you. She pulls off the pot. She takes it a couple bowls and just hands them to you. Here, eat. Go ahead. Have some food. And as long as you're willing to bring back some of that stuff, we have a few months worth of potatoes, but it's pretty much just potatoes. So any sort of flavoring at all is just wonderful. It's a blessing from Xandalus, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
While we were spending our time waiting there, Devin, I want to just refocus my spell.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we were waiting for an hour, we could maybe look at that item
Okay, so
that
you
we
guys...
received.
Yeah, you open up the item itself, and you open up the box, and there is a thin length of wood. You're not sure what kind, because it's definitely wood, but it's this almost brilliant, bright white. Capped at the end, you can see are twin snakes that kind of climb up to make a rough sort of handle that ends about a quarter of the way up the stick.
Can I occult check on that?
Absolutely. Well, you do know the twin symbols, like the twin snakes, are actually a symbol of healing, but other than that, you have no idea what this thing is.
Would I be able to take a crack at identifying it, recognizing the symbol of medicine?
Yeah, you can totally roll a medicine check, you can roll an arcana check, or you can roll an occultism check. Up to you.
Occultism is slightly higher than my medicine at this point, so I'll go with that. What?
He gave himself an headache.
You try to look at it, and it doesn't make any sense to you. You have no idea what this thing could possibly be. It's just a stick. It's not really worth all the trouble, you think.
It's not flexible enough to be a belt.
No. And you can't beat anybody with it. It's too thin.
I feel like I remember having to do something with healing. Maybe our cleric could do a book on religion check or something on this. Have you seen something with this for healing? Naru?
Naru? Oh, did we lose an arrow? Jeff, still there? Jeff has muted himself. Ah, right. It's around time for his kids to go to bed, so fair enough.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna hand the staff off to Naru, and we can figure that out later.
Yeah. Okay.
I had another question for the group. At a certain point, we had gathered a dagger of some sort. Do we know who still has that? I almost wonder if it's Neru that has it.
It's fair. It's a good question. See, I also don't remember who actually got the dagger. So I'll take a look at his character sheet real quick.
I know I don't have it. I don't even remember what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, he does. He has the knife, yeah. He has the knife with the arrow still symbol on it, yeah.
Because we never really identified it further than just a knife.
All right.
Okay.
So the hour is spent. Neru will roll his checks in just a little bit. What do you guys want to do from here?
I guess, could I try and do a check too, since I'm looking at this?
Yes. What kind of roll would you like to make? I'll tell you if it actually works.
Well, let's quickly grab. So, I'm not trained in a lot of things, but I am trained in occultism.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll then. You aren't familiar with what this item could be as well.
Okay.
And remember that you guys can make checks even untrained if you so desire. It just might not end up in your favor. And Ostrich, you could totally flex your new, you get half proficiency on everything if you wanted to roll your Arcana check.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, I actually have a lot of skill proficiencies, including Arcana already, so, but...
Fair enough.
Sure, if you'll let me roll again, I'll try and see if I can't roll better than a 1.
Absolutely. Not quite. You do recognize that it is something of magical importance. Taking a closer look, you can see the tiny bits of inscribed runework going up and down the shaft. It's definitely a magical wand of some sort, and the healing makes you think, and the symbolism makes you think that it is a healing wand of some sort. Not sure what sort, but some sort.
So definitely a cleric item.
All right.
I'm just going to eat my soup.
Okay. And if someone would like to attempt a crafting check, they could attempt to identify that knife.
Does anybody have crafting?
I have half my level and proficiency on top of a 4 intelligence modifier, so that's going to...
It'll be a +5.
Might as well.
That's fantastic. It's a beast hunting dagger. It is silvered specifically for the killing of lycanthropes. And against such creatures, it deals additional damage.
Interesting. It's shiny. I want it.
Sorry, what checks did you need me to roll?
Go ahead and roll a religion check, good sir. Or an Arcana check. So a religion check does work. With that, you were able to identify that it is a wand of heal, 2nd level.
Nice.
And they've already identified the dagger, so dagger's good.
And this wand was given to me, was it?
It was actually given to, I think Litrix took it.
I took the wand, but I'm
Ostrich
going to
did,
give it to... I'm going to give it to Neru.
So the way that wands work in this edition is it'll cast the spell once per day, no worries. You can then attempt to overcharge the wand and cast a second time, but if you do, it might break the wand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
And do we know how much healing it does?
It's a second level healing spell.
Oh, it's just a... Okay.
Yeah.
Cast second level heal.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe Neru has the dagger, right?
Nair does have the dagger, yep.
But it's up to Ostrich if he wants to let him know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless I specifically say that I'm hiding something, assume that I'm telling the party everything that I learn.
Yeah. So if you would like, you can go ahead and rename it the Beast Slayer of Aristil. It does extra damage against lycanthropes and monstrosities.
Oh. Maybe that should go to somebody who uses daggers then.
So
I've currently been using them.
Would you like this dagger?
Sure, I would love to. Take this
Then
dagger.
you may have it, because it's not a whole lot of use to me, I don't think. I mean, I would use it, but I'm not good with it.
All right. Devin, for the stats, would it just be the same as your regular dagger?
Yep.
Okay.
Oddly enough, Litrix, for you it feels almost heavy.
It's associated with a god that you do not serve.
A god who is not on your god's side at all.
Would I know that by picking it up?
Yeah, Aristil is not friendly with Pharasma.
Okay. Anybody else want this?
Those are cat friend used daggers?
Exclusively.
Well, why don't you try it?
Yeah, you take it.
I don't believe in gods, so I can take it.
No, you take it. It feels like just a regular dagger to you for the moment.
Well balanced.
Very well balanced, yeah.
Okay.
For you, it actually has a +1 to attack on top of all those other stats.
And I'm just gonna do a quick note. So it was the what of Aristil?
It's the Beast Slayer of Aristil.
Do you test it out by doing the bishop thing from Aliens?
And Aristil is E-R.
ASTIL, yeah.
Okay. And it's a +1 dagger. Silver dagger.
Yeah, it's not a +1 to attack and damage. It's just a +1 to attack. It is a for you. It acts as a dagger with a potency rune, but not a striking rune.
Okay, so it does. Sorry, +1 to damage, not to attack.
+1 to attack, not to damage.
Okay.
Yeah, those are separated in Pathfinder 2e.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then when you actually attack something that is of the monstrosity subtype, it actually will deal an additional 2 damage dice.
Okay.
So, yeah, instead of a D4, it deals 3d4, and that's on crits as well. So it'll actually be 6d4 instead of 3d4 when you actually strike something that is monstrosity on a crit.
Beautiful.
That is real nice.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's not an aberration slayer, but
Unfortunately, it's created by a god that's directly in line with mine, because that would be D6s on my part.
yeah. All right. So with everyone kind of set up with some food, you've eaten for the day, there's no need to make any checks for like exhaustion or anything like that, or fatigue. You guys set out kind of gathering your stuff and heading to the east. You head through the kind of sort of half-made stepping or sitting room and make your way down into this room here. I believe is where you wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're not going out there.
I mean, you could always try to cross the courtyard again. It wouldn't be too bad, right? You guys
I mean,
be fine.
we leveled up. We could totally take 2 night gaunts.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Guys, I have a beast slayer.
I mean, it's a good point, but there are actually aberrations, not monstrosities. You go to stab and be like, oh, this is ineffective.
Seveston doesn't know that.
And I would like to imagine that Ostrich encourages him. He knows the difference, but doesn't inform Seveston of the difference. He's like, yeah, no, totally. You could definitely take them down with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So before we go through the door, if you guys want, I could take a couple minutes here and try out this spell that I just recalled today here. It should hopefully give us some insight into what might happen.
When we open doors?
From what I remember, it should tell us kind of what's gonna hopefully give us at least a vague indication of what might happen in the next 30 minutes or so.
That sounds useful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet it will be attacked by something horrible and horrendous.
All right, so I will sit down and start casting this spell. It takes 10 minutes to cast.
Okay, so you sit down.
And I'm casting Augury, in case you were wondering. I don't know if you needed it. I was put in here.
Okay, what exact course of action are you asking about?
The exact course of action I'm asking about is traveling down to where we're trying to go. Yeah.
That'll be wheel and woe. The results will be a mix of good and bad.
At least there's some good in that, right? I expected the bad anyway.
I mean, it's almost like we're playing Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
All right, well, if there's no objection, I will raise my shield, pull out my dagger, and lead the way.
I'll come in behind him and wield my new dagger.
That's fair.
Okay, yeah, sword definitely out.
Yeah, getting ready for attacks. You guys have been attacked in almost every room you've been in so far.
At this point, I would assume our swords are always out.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just let him know which weapon now because I've been swapping in between the two.
True.
I mean, I actually do keep my Sword King concealed most of the time.
It's fair.
But I also have a feat that lets me draw it and attack at the same time, so...
Okay. So you guys open the door into the room. The first thing you notice is that it's supernaturally dark in here. It's pitch black beyond anything you could possibly imagine. The light sources, the faint light that comes from that almost luminous fog in the area doesn't penetrate just how dark it is in here.
Will divine light penetrate it?
It might.
My halo gives 20 as a divine light, so I'll give that a try.
I have to look up the effects. 1 second.
I think that's what the description was. Let me just double check it too.
Okay. your halo ends, like the light it gives ends at the doorway.
Well, that's not natural, folks.
Maybe we should all hold hands and make sure that,
What about hands on shoulders?
I don't know about you guys, but I don't like going into places that are magically dark.
So if I cast detect magic.
Oh yes, there's a crap ton of illusion magic in this room. It's almost overwhelming.
Don't know that I really have anything to check on illusion or to remove illusion magic at all.
I'm gonna look to Seviston and just be like, "Hey, want to just go in there?"
Who's going first?
Oh, no.
Because whoever's going first, I cast guidance, which puts upon me, and whoever's going first gives you a +1 stat bonus to 1 attack roll, perception check, saving throw, or skill check.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll go first.
One thing.
So stepping into the room, your immediate line of sight is reduced to 5 feet around you. And that's it. You begin to hear faint sobs and cries of what appears to be a small child. Brenton? Wake up! Brenton! The lamp's gone! Where are you? And that's all you can hear in the area. This repeated, almost whisper. Do you want to keep going?
Follow the wall. Let's find the door and get out of here.
I agree. I'll follow the wall. Try to get out of here.
I think I'm the only one in the currently, right?
Yeah.
I would have gone in directly behind you.
Okay. I'm going to try and do a scent-based perception check.
Okay, go ahead.
And see if I sense anything. Nope.
Even with that, you smell 2 things in abundance. One, there is a lot of blood in this room. And 2, for some reason, you can smell... it's got to be... chalk? Charcoal? It's charcoal. It's definitely charcoal. And... blood, and that's it.
I'll whisper back, so it's Ostrich behind me. I smell blood and charcoal. I think they were suggesting following the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We can follow the wall.
Go ahead and roll.
Do I know of any significance to blood and charcoal being
Go ahead and
together?
Roll. On an occult check, yeah. Go ahead and roll on an occult check, yeah. Blood and charcoal could indicate any number of things. The blood probably isn't relevant, but the charcoal makes you think of an amalgam creature. Something like that. Without seeing it, it's hard to tell, but you get the distinct impression that this darkness is caused by a dream creature. Either you can kill it, or you can try to talk to it. That whispering voice is... it's just kind of everywhere. You're struggling to remember. Oh yeah, as soon as you step into the room, you can hear it.
And what's the voice saying? Again?
Brenton, where are you? What's going on? Wake up! Where's the lamp? The lamp's out. Brenton? Brenton?
The entire time we're walking in there, I'm going to be murmuring prayers of protection from my goddess.
That's a good plan. Okay.
I have a lamp. I'll just try to light it.
Okay, you take out the lamp, you strike up a match, you light it, and you get a glow of light that's good about for 3 inches around the lantern. At this point, Sebastian, you feel something touch your leg and quickly move and skitter away.
You said we can see 5 feet, right?
You thought you could, but whatever that was invisible.
Awesome. So we're just walking down the wall trying to find the door out of here, right?
Yep.
And I'll put the lamp out and back away. Or put the lamp back out. Put out the lamp. Put the lamp away.
Litrix, you in particular, you hear a clack, like the snapping of a beak, and then you feel something tug at your pants and then quickly move away.
So you said that I got the impression that this is somehow related to a dream creature of some sort.
Yep.
Can I try and I'd like to try and experiment and recalling our confrontation in the tower and how we were able to mentally exert our influence over the dreamscape. I'd like to see if I can't mentally light up this room in the same way.
Go ahead and make you can make an occultism check or a will save, up to you. You feel your mind pushing against something, an oppressive sort of force, and it momentarily snaps, and for a moment you see a tiny creature no more than a foot tall, dressed in rags, a skull, like a child's skull, sitting atop its body, and it looks like its limbs have been drawn out of charcoal before the entire thing snaps back and you're left in darkness. You're pretty sure you saw its mouth moving, it whispering those terrible words. The words of a small child, lost and alone.
Would I have recognized what kind of creature that is?
You think you do, actually. You think that creature's an attic whisperer. That's the spirit of a lost and lonely child that died in a violent, violent way.
I'm going to get down on my knees and try and reach out to the child and be like, it's going to be all right. We'll help you find. It was Brenton, right?
Yeah.
That was the name.
Mm-hmm.
It was using.
Yep.
He's not here now, but if you want, we can help you find them.
Go ahead and roll a diplomacy check. You feel more than anything this tiny creature skitter up into your arms. You can't see it in this darkness. It blends in too perfectly. And you feel the kind of cold and clammy flesh of a dead hand pressed into yours. Do you have the light? Do you know where Brenton is? Brenton? Are you there? Please? I just want the light.
Do the rest of us see anything?
Nope.
Hear anything?
Nope. All of a sudden, Ostrich just knelt down, like you can feel him move. You can see him kneel down. He's holding out his hands for some reason, but as he's talking, nothing's happening. He's not making any noise.
I'll say, he's not here right now, but maybe we can find him together.
You're not Brenton. Brenton, where's the lamp? The lamp went out. The creature kind of slowly backs away from you, and you get a sense of... You're not sure what. Just a sense of fear, a terror. A little boy afraid of the dark.
I will try to hone in on that. I'll also kind of relay to the party what's going on and tell them what this creature is and what's going on.
You stand up and your mouth moves. And you can hear yourself talking, but the party doesn't seem to hear you at all, and no one else can actually understand what Ostrich is saying. They don't hear the words coming out of his mouth. Even if it is audible to him, they can't hear you at all. Then you hear Ostrich's voice.
Would I realize this? Like, would I be able to observe them not being able, or is it too, can I just not see them at all? Or...
It's too hard to make it facial expressions, but you hear your own voice coming from about 5 feet to the left. Hey, guys, maybe we should just take the door back. I don't think we should go forward.
Now, see, that should be the cue to the party that that's not me, because I've been the one who's been the most likely to prod the hornet's nest and stir shit up, so...
Wait, do we see him in front of us still?
Yep. You see him in front of you.
We all still are walking until we basically bump into him.
Yep. You see him in front of you, and you hear him off to the left.
That's weird.
Hey, guys, I don't think this room is safe. Maybe we should leave.
Keep going. Just keep going.
It's okay, Ostrich. I'll hold your hand. Let's keep going.
Keep moving towards the
Just gonna keep
door.
pushing them forward.
Okay. You guys continue, and you get to the door. As you keep going, you actually step in some sort of odd puddle liquid. Seveston, you immediately recognize that heavy scent of blood. You can see beneath you that it's all blood, a lot of it. Way too much blood. And then you need to make a will save.
Does my enduring stoicism help me out?
Can you poke what it does?
I don't actually have it. It would be in the campaign traits thing.
Right, so it should be... I thought I got you guys to write them down. Oh, there we go.
It's a +2 against spells or effects with the fear or the emotion descriptors.
Yes, it most certainly does, yeah.
Okay, so this will be at a +2.
Looking around, you see in front of you your own body on the ground, its head twisted 180 degrees. You can see the chest still rising and falling, and it's perfect under the last detail. Your dagger in hand. It looks up at you and whispers in a voice that only you hear. This isn't the right way. Turn back, or become like me. Before the entire thing just soaks into the ground, the sudden splash of blood, and you can feel that blood spray on you, and you're covered in your own blood. Do you want to keep going?
Let's see. I'm gonna call low. If it's low, I keep going. Nope, I'm turning back.
Okay. All of a sudden, Seveston turns around, and you guys can see little driblets of some sort of dark patches on his skin and on his armor. And he begins just, his eyes wide with fear, begins moving back towards the other door.
I'll grab him. Hug him, pull him with us.
Okay. So, Nero gets you to make a will save.
Oh, okay.
You feel an odd sort of presence, and as you look around, you can see yourself sitting on the side, the same sort of ascension symbols around you, risen to godly status, and you see yourself with the body of your current god at its feet, head slain, as you literally pull the godly mantle from your god into yourself. You look up, you say, "This is where your arrogance leads. A god dead and a new one risen. Don't go forward. Go back."
Does that play into anything that's happening here?
Oh, you're very much aware that this thing is trying to play on your fears.
Then I'm going to choose to ignore it and keep pulling our kitty friend along.
Sevston, if you want to let him, you can let him.
I'll let him, but my claws might be out.
There's a small prickly sensation as you get a claw or two in the arm, but it's okay for now.
I want to see if there's anything coming in the direction of where my voice was coming from before. Like,
you try your best to perceive through the very thick darkness. Go ahead and make a perception check. Taking a closer look, you can almost see at the edge of your vision movement far bigger than the tiny creature in your hands before. You feel a presence there, dark and heavy. You never felt it's like before. It's like just something at the edge of your consciousness, a primal fear. You don't really like it. It makes you feel like you're prey, not an adventurer, just prey. All right.
I'm going.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say something, but then I remember that I'll just call out, to tell it to, hey, stop using my voice. It's mine.
And the same voice responds to you. Is it yours? I thought it was mine. Aren't you just a cheeky bloke?
Well, I'm a right dashing cheeky bloke, I'll have you know.
Right dashing indeed. You look very good. Good enough to eat, almost.
Well, creatures here have certainly tried, and I'm still standing. And they're not.
That's a good point. We are very strong, aren't we? But are we strong enough to survive what's really in the dark?
I assume we're not hearing any of this.
Oh, you're hearing the entirety of the other creatures, like the creatures' conversation, but not Ostric's conversation. Yep.
Hearing half the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know the thing about dark? My entire life is shrouded in darkness, but that's what makes it so exciting. It's just a puzzle to solve, and that's the greatest thrill.
More like a puzzle you'll never solve. You're not good enough. Never have been. Trust me, I know. I remember.
Okay, so I may have accidentally, botched that surgical attempt earlier, but...
Botched? I'd say nearly killed.
So we're hearing his voice coming from behind us, right?
Just to the left of you, yeah.
Meanwhile, we still see him in front of us.
Yep.
Sounds like he's arguing with himself.
I'm chalking this up to another mind game.
Definitely.
I say we keep going. You can let go of me now.
Except that, do I hear anyone talking?
Yep. Oh, yeah, you guys can hear each other just fine. Just not Ostrich.
Just not Ostrich, okay.
Just not Ostrich.
Okay, all right. So I'll let you go in front of me.
Okay. You guys eventually do make it to the door, and as you push the doors open to leave, you hear that faint, lonely little voice. All of you hear it. Please, I just want the lantern. It's so very dark. Please? And as you make your way into the next room, worn old chairs and small tables set with the scattered pieces of simple games lay around the room. A serving hatch in the north wall opens into a darkened space, which is the one you're actually in right now. Vast glass windows dominate the eastern walls, beyond which a jaundiced kaleidoscope swirls hypnotically. A coppery smell permeates the room, and to the west stands an absolute wall of red.
We've all gone through that room. We're in the next room. Sorry.
Yeah. You're all through the room into the next one. Yeah.
Devin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave my lantern behind and be like, "Here, you can have this lantern."
Chuck it in the room.
You can hear the shattering of glass, but nothing else happens.
Before we go into the next room, I'd actually like to see if I can find a lantern in the darkness.
I'm taking a look around. You'd have to actually wander into the center of the room to see it, but from where you're standing, you can't. No. And you are very, very certain that whatever made your voice was not the little boy creature. Definitely not. There was something else in that room. And it was a perfect mimic.
Once everyone's through, I'm slamming that door closed.
We'll come back when you're a little more prepared.
Sorry about the scratches.
That's okay. Just a scratch. Can I roll a perception or some kind of check to make sure that I don't feel any more mind games going on in this room?
You can. And what you notice almost immediately, you see...
We never made it through the room.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously. You see an old woman, a rotund old woman in a faded housecoat, sitting in a wheelchair and facing the eastern windows. Taking a look, there's a gaping wound in her chest. She's not breathing. She's definitely not alive. And weirdly enough, the blood is dripping from her body in an absolute river, even now, even though she looks like she's been dead for a long time. And it leads away to the west and creates this vertical wall of blood that completely blocks off the western corridor. Right
so
here.
Like over here.
Oh, I'm poking on the wrong... I'm poking on my map as if you guys can see it. Right here. It blocks it off with a wall of blood. And there's a line of it going, stretching from her to there.
So can we go this way?
I want to go in and examine the body of that woman.
Sorry, it's like going straight across the room, as in we cannot go down.
You could. It's just a little. It's a river on the ground that suddenly shoots up right where it ends. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's not weird at all.
Yeah.
Let's go examine the body.
Okay, so Ostrich, you're going to go up and examine it?
Yes.
I'll go up with him.
Okay.
I'll keep an alert out for any weird things coming at us.
Okay.
As I'm doing it, I'm gonna do a little vocal test, like do re mi fa sol la ti do, and just make sure that I'm that thing didn't literally steal my voice.
It's odd. No one seems to notice you actually talking, but you can hear yourself just fine.
I'll tell Seviston a dirty joke.
Oddly enough, he doesn't. No, he doesn't laugh.
Do I see his mouth moving?
Yep.
What are you doing, Ostrich? This is odd, even for you. Can he hear me?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I can hear everybody but Ostrich.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you just moving your mouth like that?
Well,
I'll before I go to examine the body, I will just let out a very exaggerated, exasperated sigh, point to my mouth, and point to the room we just came in. And
A creature stole your voice, or something.
Something like that.
As they say that out loud, I'll just nod.
Okay. He did talk a lot.
Yeah.
So as you go towards,
just kidding.
As you go towards the body, You see that that little river of blood is still moving even now, getting close to the patient. She's still bleeding, even though her chest has exploded outwards. Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
Can I assist him?
I mean, his roll was definitely high enough, so it's not necessary, but you can if you wish.
It's fine. Whatever.
Taking a look at the body, you can actually see like from where her solar plexus is. One, she was an old lady. You'd say probably somewhere in her 60s to 70s. She's human and she's very old and frail. She looks very large for a woman her age, but she has a lot of laughter lines. She looks like she would have been a kind person, except for the massive gaping hole in her chest. That was an explosion going outwards. You can see her bones pushed through the skin and sticking straight out from like a ruptured rib cage. And taking a look inside, you don't see her heart anywhere, but just that pool of blood continuously dripping. Almost, yeah. And it's like blood continuously dripping from the open wounds. Always dripping.
Would this woman match the description, or would I have any way of knowing if this woman matches the description of the bag lady?
So taking a look at her and realizing that her legs, you can see this, her legs are too frail. They're too atrophied to have actually been able to get up out of this wheelchair. Probably not the bag lady. You're 90% certain. 95.
And I can't explain any of this to anyone.
Nope.
Well, you can use the blood and write it all out for us.
Okay, so at this point, I'm drawing my sword and I'm going back to that room.
Okay.
Could I do like a religion check or something to see if I can figure out what might have taken his voice? How to get it back?
Absolutely. You know of several voice stealers, and the effects are almost always temporary, unless they actually kill whoever they've stolen the voice from, or unless they physically touch them. They can't keep the voice for very long, not much longer than an hour or so.
All right, so I'll ask Ostrich if anything in there touched him, or well, obviously it didn't kill him, so just touched him.
Are you sure it didn't kill him?
I will nod in the affirmation.
No, I'm not sure. But we were all like holding each other's shoulders, so I would assume.
Really, you would assume something in this plane, in this world, literally part of the Dreamlands right now. Is that smart?
Well, I did ask if I could do a check to see if this all seemed real in here or not.
It's true. It seems real enough.
Okay, so something at the very least touched him.
Mm-hmm. There are several creatures you know of that would do something like steal a voice for an hour or two. Maybe as long as a day, but usually about an hour or two.
Okay. I will explain that to everyone and tell that he should get his voice back in the next hour or so, hopefully. Day, maybe at worst.
If he doesn't, we go back to get it for him.
Yeah. Is that amendable by everyone?
Sounds good to me.
I guess. I mean, I know that's, I'm pretty reckless, but even I don't want to go in 1v2 whatever's in that room.
That's fair.
So for now, we should look at just pushing forward.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When we were over by that body, or walking over there, is this a door up here?
It's an open space, actually.
That's just open, so we can see through there?
Yep. Yeah, it's a glass pane, actually. It looks like an overlooking window. My apologies. Not actually an open space, it's a window. You can see into the next room, which looks to be some sort of administrator's office, you think?
And what's outside these windows that this lady was looking at it?
A nearly solid wall of yellow fog.
Oh, excellent.
Boy, the view outside is amazing today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I blow a raspberry on the window.
Oddly enough, no one can hear you do it, but they can hear the rattling of the window.
Huh?
Could we go and break that window and try to go into that?
You could attempt to shatter it, absolutely.
You're talking about going into here, right? Not out into the yellow mist? Okay, good.
Not out into the yellow mist. Would I have any thieves' tools to like help shatter glass in my thieves' kit?
Not
thing?
shatter, but cut, yes.
Okay, I'll attempt to
Okay, go.
cut.
Go ahead and make a check then.
Do you know what check that would be? Was that
Yes.
just thievery?
Yeah, thievery check.
Ooh.
You manage to take a moment and you look at it, and the glass itself is mostly plastic. So you take the crystal tipped knife you have and slowly etch a large circle, and then quickly just bop it with your elbow as it falls through into the next room. You manage to make a step through. So a low desk sits behind a window that passes into a room beyond. Behind it is an empty door frame that kind of opens up into a ransacked storage room. The floor is covered in broken glass and kind of opalescent stains.
That's this room here is the storage room.
Sorry, ping that again? This room is the storage room. Yeah, that one's the storage room.
And then there's the door to the west.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll examine the desk and see if there's anything of note there.
Okay, so you go to take a look at the desk, and you hear a bit of shuffling around, and you take a look, and you can see 3 of those apostles wearing the yellow sackcloth kind of peering at you from the storage room. Hey, this is our stuff. We got this fair and square. What are you doing?
I was told to be looking for things for the group. Are you withholding things from the group?
Hey, fair is fair. We found this. We get to decide who gets it. Isn't that how it goes always?
Isn't it whoever's alive gets to decide what to do it, as I threaten them?
Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Also, can I hear this going on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that nobody can hear me to say something very insulting about their mothers.
Excellent.
I'm going to re-roll that with a hero point.
I still haven't seen it yet, so it's fair. Why haven't I seen it yet?
I haven't seen it either.
I'm going to reload. So give me a sec. I'll be right back into it.
Oh, now it showed up. Oh, yeah, that was a good one to re-roll.
Yeah.
Something on Joel's end that's lagging the connection.
Actually, I got a warning that my connection to the server had been interrupted, so it's probably me that I couldn't see.
I couldn't see it either until just when you hit reload.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it either or see it either.
Okay, I'll try and reload and see if that helps.
They immediately back off. Whoa! There is no need for the violence. I mean, there is. We do kind of like it. So this is Jeff and Mute. Neither one of them can talk. Mostly because their tongues got bitten out by some ghouls. But that you don't have to worry about that. Neither here nor there. You guys can have this place. I am more than happy to let you get it. It's all yours. Absolutely. We're gonna go.
Where are you going to go to?
Probably back to go get some food. I mean, we've been here for a little while. That dark room is real creepy. You know?
You've been in there? Actually, I'm kind of out on the other side. I probably can't hear them.
Yeah. No. Of course we have. Like, everyone's been forced to kind of sort of join the... I say forced. We decided to join a cult called the Apostles in Orpiment because Xandalus is like the big savior and stuff like that. He's been really helping us out.
Okay, well, move along then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Do you know anything about the creature that's in the black room, the dark room?
Creature? I didn't say anything. I heard whispers, but we just moved right through. I hear whispers all the time. It's not that big a deal. It happens. Only these ones were outside of my head, so that's different.
You should probably keep ignoring them.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Usually mine tell me to kill people or set things on fire or to streak, which that's kind of what got me put in here. I usually ignore the other ones, but I thought, what's the harm of going to a park and just, doing my thing? But apparently people frown on that. Didn't know. You probably shouldn't do it. Don't do it. Why are you here? I mean, usually we don't talk about these things, but it's kind of the apocalypse. What brought you to the Crazy Barn, if I may?
We have no idea. We're just trying to get out of the Crazy Barn.
Sure, likely story. I mean, everybody wants out, right?
I'm here because I think that I'm a cat.
It gives you a look.
What? Is there something wrong?
No, nothing at all. That's fine. I'm just gonna get moving. Bye. He kind of drags the other two with him. They leave.
As they walk by, may I hiss?
Yeah. Please don't. That was funny. Sure, super funny. And he keeps walking.
Okay, now I'm going to take a better look around the desk in the room.
So go ahead and... Why is it...
And if other people want to join me in the room too.
I will assist with you with this investigative endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to take a little bit of a closer look down this way, Devin. Make sure there's nothing in the hallways or not.
I was going to say, before we go stepping over that blood or by the blood pool, I think we should potentially take a look at Inside Out Lady over there and try to figure out what made her in such a fashion.
Okay, sorry. So Litrix, I was reading up on some of the stuff we have to do. Where were we wanting to go explore?
I'll agree with Nair. I was just going to take a quick look down the hallway to make sure nothing was in the hallway, but like he says, we should probably deal with the blood first.
Well, if the blood's like continually dripping, plus like forming a wall at the end of that hallway down there, I'm a little bit worried about what magical properties might be around. And speaking of such, I'm going to cast Detect Magic and see what's magical in this room.
So there's a constant bit of conjuration from the body, continuously flooding the area with the blood. It's some sort of summon, you think.
Do you have any idea how to get rid of that?
Go ahead and make an occultism check.
Somebody who knows occultism, would they know this information that I'm wondering?
Possibly they might, but right now you're the one that has to make an occultism check. You're not sure why this would be summoning a bunch of blood. No idea.
Oh.
Okay, so
that's with you?
When I can speak again.
I'm with you.
Taking a closer look at the room itself, I'll get you to roll a perception check. Sebastian. Nice. So you take a quick look around the room, and you begin to recognize, like, based on charts and stuff, this is actually a nurse's station. And behind it is actually a dispensary of sorts where they handed out different sorts of medications. So, taking a look around, you discover there's enough stray gear kind of around here. You could probably make a fairly effective healer's kit. And you find 2 potions of heal. It's a lesser elixir of life. There we go. Yeah, lesser elixir of life here.
Guys, we've got some good stuff.
So you can tell, like, basically this room, although it has a bunch of, like, stains in the ground, it looks like somebody was ransacking through here for some sort of drugs. There should have been, like, a store of dry herbs with some bandages, mundane tinctures, and some chemical medications, but a lot of it's gone, and you're pretty sure those guys are just in here to get high on psychotropic substances.
Would I be able to find any leftover psychotropic substances?
He has found a few, yes.
So I'm going to motion to Ostrich and offer him, like, here, you like healing? Do you need any of this stuff?
I mean, I'll take it. I'm not necessarily going to use it right away, but...
Because there was, like, if you need to replenish your healer's bag, and I think also Neru has a healing skill, so we could put together a healer's bag for him as well.
I mean, I keep forgetting about this, but I already have healer's tools, and I also was able to earlier on find some surgical tools that actually give me a +1 medicine.
Yeah.
Kit, so
whenever you're, yeah.
I keep forgetting about that whenever I'm doing my first aid. Not that it would have helped me earlier in this session, but I have it.
All right. So, at this point, your voice comes back. Other people can hear you now.
Look at that. I can hear you again.
But you're glad we didn't go back into that dark room now.
All right.
Who do we want to be carrying these tinctures of life? Or vigor or something?
2 elixirs of lesser life.
I think the 2 people who don't have healing magic should probably at least each have 1.
That's kind of what I was thinking, yeah. In case we get separated, better to be able to heal yourself just in case.
All right, and then Nario, taking a closer look at the body, it's an impossible flood of blood. A regular person would die of exsanguination in probably 10 or 15 seconds if this were to happen to them.
Right. And how would one dispel this spell?
It's not a spell as far as you can tell. It's something different.
Can I take my body over on this stone?
Okay, I need one of you to talk at a time, please.
Okay, I was going to say that now that I can talk again, I will fill them in on my earlier deductions regarding the body, and, probably seems pretty obvious, but something kind of came out, so...
That's fair. Then Ostrich?
I just wanted to...
Sorry, Litrix, I meant Litrix. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I was just going to take a closer look at the body using my occultism.
Okay, go ahead. This is most certainly a body, and it's disgusting enough to make you a little ill. Neru, what were you going to say?
I kick the body over. I don't kick it over. I push it over.
It is in a wheelchair, so you're pushing it off the wheelchair?
Oh, in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I don't really want to touch it is the problem. But I also don't really want to be mean to a dead body.
I say burn it with fire.
That is something we could do.
Would I be able to attempt an occultism check on the body?
Absolutely you would, yeah. You've heard of such things before, not necessarily spells, but literal manifestations of terror. These are haunts, as people refer to them as. Much like the chef kind of thing in the other room, much like that little boy's voice, they're the last screams of a dying or dead person. This person was afraid of something, and it caused this haunt to happen, this bit of magic. It's not a spell, so it can't just be dispelled, but if you can figure out what made them create the haunt, you can stop it. some trigger, some word, some ability, some action, something.
Okay, I will.
What if we just burn her?
Not dissolving the haunt itself usually doesn't destroy it. It'll come back within a few moments to a few days.
Okay.
Depending on how powerful the haunt is.
Can I like examine the scene in its entirety and kind of try and see if there's anything that got overlooked that might give us a hint as to what happened?
I would say go ahead, yeah.
What kind of check do you want me to do?
I would say a perception check. A quick and careful look around doesn't really show you anything that you weren't already seeing. You're leery to kind of cross the red stream or even to try going around the body because it could... A haunt usually doesn't treat people positively when you get too close to it. You do remember Seveston discussing how it was a nurse's station. Heading back there, you see a lot of like medication jars and stuff like that. Things that make you think maybe this person was just a regular patient. Maybe something happened to them. You're not sure. The fact that some of the medications are still there is odd. It seems like most of them that are there are just like painkillers and stuff, though. Nothing fun.
So Ostrich City relays information to us. So you said that the haunt's in reaction to something it's afraid of, right?
Or dying violently, yeah.
Or dying.
Can I?
We could try bandaging the wound. Maybe that will trigger the haunt to stop.
Okay, I have another question too. Like, where exactly was the wound like the bursting coming from? Was it like in the chest, or maybe was it possibly somewhere closer to like where her womb would have been?
No, it was definitely the chest, and definitely right around where her heart would have been.
Looks like her heart exploded.
It does look like her heart exploded. Yeah. Not ripped out. Like, it wasn't a wound that went inward and then outward. It just went outward. It exploded, as far as you're aware. And then, Litrix, you can attempt bandaging the wound. You would have to touch the body, though.
Mm-hmm. I want to take a careful look at the bloodstream and see if we can find her heart in the room.
So you carefully examine the bloodstream itself, and that flowing bit of gore and blood just seems to swirl oddly. Go ahead and make a will save. Okay. You see faces in it. Not faces you recognize. Maybe... And then you do, like this old lady's face, then other faces. Faces of some of the people you saw dressed in yellow, other patients. And then more, you see things you recognize as being ghouls. And that's all you see in the stream. No bits and pieces of heart, just memories quickly flashing by as the blood leaves her body.
Seeing her
she's
memories?
Like bleeding her memories?
Maybe. It might just be faces.
What kind of, besides painkillers, were there, like you said, that it seemed kind of odd that there were still drugs in that room that hadn't been taken. Would I be able to take a look and kind of give it a sense for what kind of treatments they would be used in?
Go ahead. And roll a medicine check.
Medicine?
Mm-hmm. Taking a quick look around, most of them seem to be treatments for like arthritis or something like that. A few of them are antipsychotics, which those weren't touched, of course. And there's, of course, like the usual stuff to treat older patients that have dementia or something similar. There's a wide variety of things that weren't touched. Most things that were taken were the happy fun time pills.
You know, we should take the psychotics, or antipsychotics, sorry, and if we do ever make it back to that camp, see if we can get them to mix that in with the food and potentially make people a little bit more sane.
And they could probably use some of their meds. However, mixing different meds would probably be horrible too.
A little bit of polyfarm never hurt anybody, right?
No, nobody.
I'm gonna just meditate for a bit, pray to Serenre, see if she can give me any guidance on what might have hurt this person and caused this.
Yeah. This is a dead person too, so that's kind of Frasma's round. I'm gonna do the same.
So both of you pray. Go ahead and roll religion checks. Your goddess isn't particularly attuned to dealing with the kind of haunts, the living dead, or the angry things they leave behind. She's more of a purge it with fire kind of gal, and there's not really much helping there. And Litrix, your upbringing as well demands that you kill the living dead. They're an affront.
Mm-hmm.
You know you can't end this haunt by just destroying it, but you can postpone it, and maybe, if you do enough damage, maybe you can dispel it permanently.
So both of our religions are like burn it with fire.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
undead.
Even though you know that probably won't save or stop the issue permanently, it might help in the short term.
Okay. Well, there's a bunch of benches and stuff around us, right? My thought is make a little mini pyre around her and light her up.
It's that, or we try bandaging the wound and see if that relieves the haunt's fears. I don't know. It's like an unquenchable wound.
Maybe we need to give her some drugs so she forgets everything.
Just whip them into her open chest or what?
I don't know. I just had to wonder if what she was terrified of is on the other side of that door.
Yeah.
Since there's a wall of blood blocking it.
I'm going to have a go at examining the river of blood myself.
Okay, go ahead. And who else was talking, sorry?
Me. I was asking if there's any chance that it's something that could be spoken to try to explain what it wants.
If you had someone like speak with dead, absolutely.
And what do you want me to roll?
I could try a quick conversation, but I don't have a turn.
You and Ostrich, it'll be just a perception check. You are investigating, so.
.28 to examine the river of blood in investigative detail.
Okay. So the blood itself, you find much the same thing as Litrix did. It just shows her face and the faces of other patients and doctors and nurses. And you see like her last moment clutching at her chest as her heart literally explodes outwards, killing her.
So would I be able to reasonably assume that it was just the sudden fear of having her heart literally explode that created this haunt?
Possibly, yeah. Seems likely, actually.
And how exactly can we fix that post-mortem?
Does not have to be a rational fear. Being this close to the Dreamlands, it's entirely possible that she just thought her heart could explode, and so it did.
I'll try to focus really hard on putting her heart back in her chest.
Okay, go ahead and roll an occult check. Nothing seems to change as much as you focus. The world doesn't seem to be as malleable here as it was in the pure dreamlands or in that creature's darkness.
What if we all work together on it?
It's entirely possible. But I think we'll end it there for the evening. It is 9:30, my friends, and that's a good mystery to stop on. All right. So everyone watching, thanks for watching. It was a fantastic time. Have a great night, my goblins. And then for everyone playing, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yep.